Alright, so I'm going to be talking about dating because recently I just had a conversation with somebody about dating, and I've been single for almost 2 years. Like, literally, this is April, May, June makes 2 years, right? And everybody's just like, oh, you know, how's dating going? I'm like, it's not, like, but I'm okay. Like, I try. I don't really put extra effort into dating because I really don't feel like I have the time to. Like, I was on dating sites, and generally when school is open, I delete my accounts because I just really feel like it just doesn't really matter anymore. It doesn't, because people, I feel like whoever I'm meant to end up with, I'm gonna end up with. That's it. Like, I would meet people on dating sites, and I tend to try to have a conversation prior to giving my phone number out, and that in itself makes people like disappear. Like, they'd be like, oh, well, why don't we exchange numbers? Like, you just told me your name. I'm not giving you my phone number. For what? Like, you haven't even told me anything that will make me believe that you're worth having my phone number outside of your name. And I looked at your picture. That doesn't mean anything to me. So I just feel like in that case, you should just kind of be like, okay, so let's have a conversation. Fine. And I was trying to discuss dating as far as like how many dates before you know the person is not going to work out. Now, one of my friends said there should be a 3-date minimum. And she said this because she said the first date, you know, everything could go wrong and you still need a second chance. And the second date, they still have to prove themselves. So I don't understand. Like, she didn't really convince me that you need 3 whole dates, because in my mind, I know if I would possibly want to date you before I meet you. So telephone conversations, text messaging, and that's another thing. Like, a lot of people these days, they don't want to have telephone conversations. Like, I'm a texter, don't get me wrong, I love to text, but I feel like if I'm trying to get to know you, we need to have a telephone conversation, because I need to know your personality. Like, you can't tell through text. You can probably tell a little bit on the phone. You still can't even tell because you have to kind of be in person, but that's like the next best thing. If you're not going to meet someone yet, you need to talk on the phone, because you can kind of read their tones, you can read the silence, you can read everything through a conversation, actual conversation on the phone, as opposed to just everything is texting. Like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, we're adults. I should be able to have a conversation with you over the phone. So now, here's the thing. Once we have a conversation on the phone, I'll then be like, okay, I will or won't date you. 9 times out of 10, if we make it to having a telephone conversation, I will go out on a date with you. But most times, when I say yes to a date, I kind of know how it's gonna go, because we will have had or not had some type of chemistry through our conversations, and we will probably have something in common, or we might just vibe, whatever the case is, and that would tell me like, okay, the date should go well. Now, personally, through my recent dating experience, no one has made it past 1 date. So, and that's a conversation we had, because I'm like, one person said 2-date minimum, which I kind of get it, and the other one said 3. I personally think the minimum is 1, because here's the thing. You're not going to go out with a stranger danger unless it's a blind date. So maybe a blind date kind of situation, I would say a minimum of 2. Because A, you don't talk to the person before meeting them. B, you don't know what the person looks like. C, you have no clue who they are. So the first date, you're going to kind of meet them, figure out, you know, who they are, if they can hold a conversation and stuff like that. Even if the date wasn't spectacular, you still chalk it up to first meeting jitters. So you go out on a second date. I can get that. But I've been talking to you, conversing, all that good stuff. You kind of know who I am. Then the first date really doesn't go well, or we plan a second date and something happens. So like if you flake, or you do something dumb before the second date, you say something crazy, or I say something crazy, fine. But either way, second date never happens, and that's the end of you. And I don't see an issue with that. But they're like, oh, you're too picky. I'm like, I'm not picky. My standards are not that high. I have 4 like key ingredients to the type of person that I'm attracted to. 1, you need to be a man. Go figure. You need to be a man that's taller than me. So you need to be a man that's taller than me. So I'm 5'6". You need to be taller than me. And personally, that's just like a security thing. I just feel like if I'm with someone from experience and I put my arms around your waist, there's something about hugging someone that's bigger than you and looking up at them that makes you just feel like, oh, this is it. So I generally date taller guys, like 6 feet and up. But I will date someone who's 5'8" and taller if I feel like we're a good match. Like, I'm not stuck on 6, but that's just what I do. That's just what I'm generally attracted to. That's 1. You have to be a taller man. 2, you have to have a good job. And I say this because I'm 28. I have 2 children from a previous relationship. I was not married. I was almost married. Was not married, but this was still a pretty serious relationship. And like when we met, he wasn't working, and he got where he went during the course of our relationship, and that's fine. I feel like when we met at 19, that was fine for me. Like, I can do that at 19. I can't afford to do that at 28 years old. So I need you to have some type of consistent job. I have one, and so should you. I'm not down for, I just came into the country, I don't have anything, I can't do it, I'm sorry. Come see me in a couple years when you get your stuff together. You know what I mean? So I can't do that. I can't do the I'm in school. I respect it. You know, you want to get educated, but I can't mess with you if you're in school and you don't have a job. I can't do it. So that's major for me, because I'm a parent. You may or may not be a parent. I really don't care. I don't have preference as far as kids or no kids. A lot of people have preference, so a lot of people might not date me because I have children. That's fine. I understand that. To each his own. Fine. My ex had children when I met him. It didn't bother me. I didn't have children, but that's just the way it goes. So either way, that's number 2. You have to have a job, like a real job, not like a waiter. Like, I need you to have a consistent, stable job, something. Okay, so 1, taller than me. 2, a consistent, stable job. Right? 3, I prefer men that I date to have a car. Now, this is a personal preference, and I only say that because I've learned that it just makes my life so much easier if the person has a car. And I'm just like, okay, if you have a car, good, fine, well, great, good. But everyone doesn't have a car, and I get it, but it's not for everybody. So, and you know what, in some instances, maybe you live somewhere where it just doesn't make sense to have a car, because I just got a car a year ago. So I understand. Where I lived before, I could not have a car. There was bad parking and all of that. So I mean, it's on a case by case, but generally I would prefer you to have a car, because I need to know that you can get around. I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to do that stuff. No. Maybe, you know, if a relationship progresses, yeah, I'll pick you up and all that. But if you're just getting to know me, I'm not picking you up. I'm not coming to meet you at your house. I'm not doing that. Like, all that stuff happens later, and I feel like people will look at me like I'm crazy because I'm just basically like, well, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. And it's not a matter of me being a snob or whatever the case is. It's just a matter of me like, okay, well, I don't know. It is what it is. And so that's it. What did I say? 12, a job, a car, and oh, you have to be attractive. So that's another thing. Like, people always make it seem like if a woman wants a man that's attractive, she's shallow. You don't have to be like Tay Diggs or like a model, Tyson Beckford, or whatever your preference is. Those are just attractive men. Not necessarily my type, but they're just attractive. I don't really have a type, but I don't think I'd be attracted to them. Either way, you don't have to be like supermodel status, but I need to be attracted to you in some shape or form. Like, if I'm not attracted to you, I can't date you. And I hate when people go, oh, well, it's not all about the physical. Something about you needs me to be like, oh, yes. Otherwise, this relationship is not going to work. No, it's not built on looks, but it needs to be built on some type of attraction. Like, I need to be attracted to you for some reason. And if that's not there, I can't do it. I just can't. Sorry. I'm like, and it's weird because, like, I have a thing for nice teeth and lips. So, like, the mouth area, like, there's something about a man's mouth that I'm just like, oh, he has a nice mouth. Like, I just want to kiss his face. Like, I can't explain it, but that in itself, I'm like, you may not be that attractive, but you might have a nice mouth, and I'll be like, okay, I'll date you. But it's so weird. Like, I can't explain it. But that's what I mean. Like, I have to be attracted to something. Even if you're just 6'5", and I find your height sexy, then I'm attracted to you. So it doesn't matter. Something has to be attractive to me. And that's it. I don't think I'm super picky. I assume, you would need to have a conversation or know how to keep a conversation going. Something like that. Oh, you can't be too skinny, but I guess that would be attraction because I don't do skinny. I don't do fat. I don't do skinny. I don't do the extremes. Sorry. I can't do really skinny, like real skinny, and I can't do fat. I just can't. I know you're not supposed to call people fat, but some people are fat. I mean, that's just it. And you know what? Fat people get married. Fat people have kids. Fat people live happily ever after. So some people like that. And I get it. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying that's not my thing. But I really got off topic here because then I went into my own personal list. But I still think that a 1 date minimum is just fine. Because as a woman, I feel like I should personally know what I want, what I don't want, what I'll take, what I won't take. You know what I mean? Like, I know my standards, and I don't think my standards are high. I don't think my standards are too tight. I don't think I need to lower my standards. I just feel like I just haven't met the right person, and that's it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Alright, so I'm done with that. Bye.